Welcome back to the Asylum. I'm Kane.
And I'm Jasean.
And we are the Arkham Inmates. And today it's another wonderful Fancast Friday for today. And we are going to be fancasting for the one and only Wolverine. So we have done an Xmen one in the past. We have done a lot of the other ones. We just finished out the Avengers, doing a lot of them. So we are going to... Wolverine, very famous character, very one of our favorites. And we have seen him live action many a times before with Hugh Jackman. But... we're going to give it our little twist on things for our very own movie. So let's not waste any time and let's get right into it. Alright, so you already know how this goes. I go first, Jasean goes second, and we see who's got the better story by you guys letting us know. If you haven't seen any of these Fancast Fridays, we have like almost 30 of them. We've been doing it for almost 5 months now, so there's at least 30 for you guys to go and check out. So go check out any of them. Go check out the X-Men one after this, since we're doing a very famous X-Men. But let's get right into it. So my story, my movie title is called Wolverine, Brothers of Blood, and here is my movie. Logan has been living in the Canadian wilderness by himself for the past couple months. One day he smells an overwhelming amount of iron in the air, a good sign of fresh blood. He tracks the smell and finds a campsite not far from his cabin to men ripped to shreds. Logan then sees his brother leaning against a tree covered in blood. Hello, little brother. But as soon as Sabretooth begins to talk, Wolverine lunges forward and begins to attack him. Ultimately, Sabretooth gets the upper hand and claws at Wolverine's throat. Listen here, Runt. I'm not here for you and I didn't kill those men. I've been sent by Stryker to retrieve an important discovery that'll aid his work in the Weapons Plus program. Logan stabs Victor in the side of the head and pushes him off. But before Wolverine can attack again, they hear a big howling scream coming from far off. Sabretooth looks at Logan and gives a slight chuckle as his face begins to heal back. So you coming or not, Runt? Victor says with a sly look and starts heading in the direction of the scream. What have I gotten myself into? Logan says under his breath and begins to follow his brother. Can Wolverine trust his brother? And how will he figure out a plan to stop Stryker from getting his hands on this mysterious discovery?
So did Sabretooth kill those people, or did the Thing kill the people and he was just tracking the Thing?
Yeah, I just said that.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, I said I didn't kill those men, but I'm here sent by Stryker.
Okay.
Yeah, so the main villain of mine is going to be the Wendigo, which is original comic, one of Wolverine's first villains in his debuts. We see him a lot in the animation, but we've never really seen it like live action full Wendigo. So I wanted to do that as like the main villain. Sub-villain's going to be Stryker, obviously. Wolverine's not going to be able to let... he's not going to let Stryker get his hands on the Wendigo, because in the comics, the way that the Wendigo works is that if he claws at you or bites you, it's kind of like the werewolf notion, to where other people turn into the Wendigo, and Stryker having that ability once Wolverine, learns it in the movie he's not going to let Stryker have that. So obviously we're going to get some fights with the Wendigo, with Sabretooth, and ultimately Wolverine's going to be trying to take out everybody that's in the Weapons Plus program. Cameos. So my cameos these are going to be the main three. So Hugh Jackman, Tyler Mane, and Liev Schreiber. I want them as the ripped up woods guys. So I want them as the dead bodies in the cabin. So, not in the cabin, the campsite. So they get there and you see like them, like maybe Tyler Mane's hacked in half, and like you see them like just their heads laying there, and then Wolverine's like searching the area before he sees his brother. Something like that. Just to be like, oh shit, that's Hugh Jackman and Tyler Mane. Oh, it's the original live action people. And then the other cameos would be John Proudstar and James Proudstar. So, just to have it as, like, that the Native American side of things. So, for my cast, so keeping it within my universe of the X-Men and other stuff, I'm only switching one person from last time. But Logan is going to be Daniel Radcliffe. I just always loved that, of just a short, comic accurate looking Wolverine. And I think Daniel's just got the range for it. I think he could really kill it. Victor, or Sabretooth, he is going to be Alan Richardson. So instead of doing the Charlie Hunnam that I did for Captain America, because I like Alan Richardson's build for Captain America of what I see in comics, I'm still going to keep it from the X-Men universe that I'm doing. So this is kind of like Fox versus MCU. I'm kind of doing that. So Sabretooth, I want Alan Richardson because he's just a massive dude, and I think he looks like a good comic portrayal of the short-haired, beard, Sabretooth. Really nasty looking, but also he is super tall, and his build and his height is going to be so different than Daniel's, and that's going to make a really good dynamic between Sabretooth and Wolverine because of how small Wolverine is. Stryker, I have as BD Wong. He is the dude that played Hugo Strange in Gotham. He's also in Jurassic World and a bunch of other stuff. He's a great evil scientist, dude. I think the same element that he brought to Hugo Strange, I think he could bring to Stryker as just a really... You're like a dude, you're like, I just want Stryker dead. Wendigo is going to be Steve Blum, just as voice acting. I don't want any lines. I want it to be just a pure beast. I don't want the Wendigo to be, like, there's no humanity to him. There's no talking. There's no actual, like, dialogue. It's just, like, noises and grunts. And Steve Blum is also, that'd technically be another cameo. He is the voice actor for Wolverine and almost everything. So him being in it also would be really sick, as much Wolverine as possible. For John Proudstar, that is Zahn McClarnon. He's a very, not very old, he's an older Native American actor. He's in a lot of AMC shows. He's in Reservoir Dogs. He's just a very, like, prominent Native American actor. And then for his son, James Proudstar, I went Boo Boo Stewart. They just look really alike. They got the same hair, kind of same face to it. I could see them being father and son. And having him be kind of like the old, wise shaman of Thunderbird, being that old wise shaman, and then his son being Warpath, being very like, oh, that's where they would like lead to that, and in Logan and Sabretooth would be like, oh, like we need to learn about what the Wendigo is, and then the people around that area, the tribes and the Native Americans, more like that, they'd be like the exposition of what the Wendigo is. So that's mine, just solid, kind of like brother tale of two foes coming together to solve like an issue. But at the end, we know Wolverine's gonna have to, you know, Sabretooth's gonna betray him. Like, we know that it's gonna be a certain type of movie where at the end, it's gonna be either having the Wendigo back into the wild or having to kill the Wendigo, but we can't let Stryker have it. Yeah. But we need to find it, and the only person that's been tracking it is Sabretooth. So he's gotta trust Sabretooth for a little bit. Yep. And I love Sabretooth. He's one of my favorites, so I would love to see that brother dynamic too in it. But let's see what Jasean has in store. All right, we're going to get into Jasean's Wolverine story.
Mine is called Ultimate X-Men Toxic Legacy. Jesse is a normal teenager living a quiet life in a small town, filled with hopes, dreams, and building a relationship with his girlfriend. But this past week, little strange things have been happening to him. His body starts glowing faintly, unexplained instances happen, and he doesn't understand what's going on, but whatever. Next morning, Jesse wakes up and sees Senator Kelly on the TV telling America why mutants are horrible and they need to be rounded up and confined. He finishes getting ready for school, but nobody's home. That's weird. But regardless, he walks to school, and his neighborhood's also empty. Also weird. He arrives at school, sees his classmates, his girlfriend, and then suddenly their bodies start releasing a glowing like aura. Their flesh is melting, and bodies start dropping. Oh my god, everyone is melting, he says, running away as fast as he can. He isolates himself into a forest, crying his eyes out. Suddenly, he hears footsteps and sees it's the famous X-Men, the Wolverine. With a case of beer in his hand, he walks up to Jesse and says, "Hey, we need to talk."
Solid, so straight from the comic.
Yep.
Straight from the comic. That's one of,
That's where he kills the kid.
Yeah, he has to kill the kid because no one else can do it.
Yep.
Yeah, very, one of my favorites. Yeah. One of my favorites. Very sad story of how, more in the sense of, like, people always want to be mutants, but no one chooses their power.
Yep.
Like, Iceman didn't choose to have ice. Like, they
also go through, things with their metamorphic type mutants, like Beast, for example.
Yeah.
How they don't choose it, and they also have to go through, like, an identity crisis.
Yeah, Mystique being blue, Beast, like, being a beast, and, like, him being a teacher. Yeah.
Unintentionally.
Yeah. And not even knowing it, that his, like, once he woke up that day, his parents died, and he just walked out of the house thinking they're cool. And then, like, it's such a sad story because even Xavier knows, like, this kid can't live because no one is going to be alive long enough to teach him how to control it. So it shows the scary side of being a mutant.
And that's also why I threw the Senator Kelly thing in there, because that wasn't in the comics, but, you know, with all that going on, that happening, and then the public finding out a mutant did that, oh, it's fucking over. You know, it doesn't matter. They're going to start rounding up mutants. I mean, like, this is just one instance.
Yeah, no problem.
But for my cameos, I did Professor X, Cyclops, Jean, Storm, and then the cameos are going to be like his mom and dad, girlfriend, because they're not really, like,
they're not going to live long enough.
You know what I mean? But for Professor X, Patrick Stewart, obviously. Cyclops, Patrick Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
The, what's it called, Gen V kid.
Yep.
Jean, Catherine Langford from 13 Reasons Why, the main chick that killed herself.
Nah, I never watched it. So
do you know what she looks like?
Not
No.
really. I'm guessing redhead.
Yeah, kind of gingerish.
Yeah. Okay.
Yara Shadangi. I don't really know how to say her last name,
I'm
but
not
she's
gonna
from
pronounce that either.
Grownish. She looks like she could play a good Storm, and then just hire whoever the fuck you want to for the mom, dad, and girlfriend.
They're not gonna live.
They're not gonna live long enough.
Yeah.
For the main cast.
You could do something funny to where instead of it, like in Thor, where they have like Matt Damon, someone that's fucking huge, being like the tiniest role, like having his dad, like be like fucking like Patrick Swayze, or something crazy like that, or like even like Ian McKellen being
his parents can be
something really famous, like Brad Pitt.
Nick Cage can be the dad.
Yeah, or something where you're like, oh, like 2 seconds of screen time.
For the main cast, it'd be Wolverine, Jesse, and then Senator Kelly. Because I want that predominant thing in the background. I want that to be a part of the story of like him in the news. Because
I would feel like that'd be a cameo though, because it's just on the news. Unless Senator Kelly's in the whole.
But
I'm thinking
in my head,
this movie's a 2-hour movie, 1 hour 30.
But in my head, I would want that. Like the reason I put those cameos in there, all them just cameos, is because they're going to be a flashback.
Yeah, because you're just going to see the X-Men.
Well, I would want the professor telling Logan, like, hey, this isn't the route we usually take. Like, there's a group meeting of them saying, Logan, you're gonna have to go kill this kid. Like, this sucks, and then that's it. But then the Senator Kelly thing is a bit more cameo. I could definitely see what you're saying, but I just want that out there because in the comic, it's like, I have to kill you because the whole reason
I was just thinking of your movie being like, most of it is in the cave.
Yeah.
So it's like, if it's an 1.5 hour movie, then an hour of it is in the cave and coming to grips with this and the kid and them getting close, and then the movie ending with probably him killing him. But
I'd want like the first 30 minutes of us bonding with the kid, seeing his life and shit. That way you really feel the impact.
That's what I'm thinking. Kelly would kind of just. That's what I'm saying. I get having him as main cast because Senator Kelly is one of the biggest, next to like Trash Striker Kelly. Like they're the biggest. Mutant, anti-mutant people. Yeah.
I'm at haters, not hunters. But yeah. So for Wolverine, I want Henry Cavill. I love that as Wolverine.
I just don't agree with the height.
I know, but I just like the accent. Like you best.
I mean, he looks good in
Deadpool
Wolverine.
Yeah, that really. When I saw that, I was like, holy fuck, that really did it for me.
He's just so tall.
Jesse can be Dactyl and Grazer. He played in
I know him. That's Shazam. Yeah,
the little kid.
Is it also it, right?
Yeah. Too. I find him a little bit annoying. Just when I see him in interviews or something, there's just something about him that I find just a tad annoying. So I'd like to see him die. And then for Senator Kelly, Steve Zahn is the dad in Diary of a Wimpy Kid. I thought I was losing my mind with the door handles. The dad.
Come on, you got to pick someone you can hate.
Oh no,
I've
seen his range.
I've seen tons of movies that he's in.
I feel like he could just
phenomenal range.
I think he can pull that off of me, like, because I want someone like a lovable, like, oh, that guy's a fucking like. Usually I love him, but like seeing him like that, like a fucking asshole. Like I feel like he just has that look of being
like seeing Jonah Hill in something and that's evil, and you're like, oh shit, like I love this dude, but now he's playing someone I don't like. Like when that dude, I forgot what it was. I think it's called Fury, but I think that's the one with the Nazis. But
Fury? That was the one with
that's the tank movie
Brad
with
Pitt.
Brad Pitt in it. Yeah.
Okay.
And I forgot one of the main dudes is playing a Nazi. Like, I forgot who it was, a really mean fucking Nazi. And then Brad Pitt's like, we should cut his fucking legs off. And, like, Brad Pitt in that movie is just a murderous, like, psycho. But you're like, I love Brad Pitt. But in this movie, he's just like, we should take his testicles and take them out, put them in his eyes. And they're all like, yeah, Sarge, America. And I'm like, I don't feel right with America. Like, it was so harsh. But I can see him, because I would watch that and be like, oh, Diary of a Wimpy Kid. And then he's like, these muties need to die. Like,
I can feel the anger because I'm thinking of Blue Streak. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
So
I can see that.
Because he was a shit cop. That was like not a shit cop, but he was borderline racist.
Yeah.
He had a black white. So like in my head, it's like
I could see that. I could see him being like fucking muties, them muties, like totally on TV being persuasive as shit, like a politician. I could definitely see it. But is it gonna beat mine? All right, so you've heard both of our stories. You've heard mine, Wolverine, Brothers of Blood.
And mine, Ultimate X-Men, Toxic Legacy.
Now, which one would you rather go see? If you gained your mutant abilities and you had the mutant ability to step into movie theaters and be like, oh, I am seeing this movie and Jedi mind trick people, but you could only do it once a day, who would you rather go see? Would you rather go see his very sad and depressing mutant story and showing the horrors of being a mutant rather than the pros of it? Or would you rather see a fight fucking action film, horror slash film with Sabretooth and Wolverine brother to brother fighting the Wendigo. I mean, come on. I think it's pretty clear. I think it's pretty clear whose movie you're seeing. But we'll leave it up to you. We'll leave it up to you guys to see which movie do you like better. Do you like Jasean's or do you like mine? But that is all we have for today. And we will see you for the next Fancast Friday or the next Monday video, as you know. And we will see you in the next one. Subscribe, like, everything that you already know that we say every fucking video. Make sure you know how to do all that. And we will see you in the next one. Thank you for being one of the inmates here at the Asylum. Peace.